Hi everyone, now I got asked a few questions about the foam cutters that I use to cut the foam for flies like say this one. This is one I did recently where I used the foam for an emerger or a suspender midge, in this case an adult version. As well as obviously what other flies could I tie, what do you normally tie with it. Now it's a wee bit far away now, but this is a detached bodied midge and it's on the smallest size. Now the cutters are cylinders. There's the tube, it's the largest and the medium sized one I've got there. These get into, you put them into a drill. The other one's in the drill at the moment and I'll show you how to cut it. So there, that's the actual tube cutters as they call them. There is a couple of companies that make them. There's one in the UK as far as I believe, and there's one in America. These ones came from America, so they're both the same as far as I believe. I'm not sure what size they do, but anyway, I'll tell you what sizes I have. Now, once they're cut, the biggest size in this case here is 5mm, and then it's down to, it's hard to see here, 3mm, and then the smallest one is just short of 2mm, so there we are. So that's the sort of width of the tube. Now you can stretch them slightly. Now what I'm going to do is show you how I cut it. Now I've got it in a drill. There we are. I've got the drill here. Now as you can see, I've got the foam sitting on my desk. I've cut quite a few out of this one. Now this is the smallest because I'm going to be doing this detached bodied midge. This is obviously black, it's a Bibio midge, the detached bodied version. Now it's quite simple, you just basically drill. And there we are. And basically that's the foam cut. Now you must make sure these are sharp. Now the way I keep them sharp is basically I've got a file. It's important to keep them sharp, and you just onto the file. And then I use a fine grade sandpaper just to polish it. Just rubbing it on it. And that's how I keep them sharp. So, but if you can see, I actually cut onto a piece of cardboard. So double it up, because it's very easy to get through. So I just double it up and onto my desk. As you probably can see there, you do get carried away when you run through, but you've got to come right all the way through. So I'll show you again, it's quite simple as I say, just to come from the top, just allow it to cut. And there's the foam cut, ready to go. So, but I'm going to be tying, this is the black version, just a black midge. I'm going to be tying this tan coloured one. Basically very good in the summer months, the tan, but it's very good and throughout the season really. It'll give an impression of very terrestrial type flies, but it's a very good midge pattern, the tan coloured one. So I call it tan Bibio because it's got the red, much the same as just a copy of this one really, but in tan. So other colours, just to give you, there is orange, just remembered, I've got the orange block, obviously I've got white. Now this is from Wapsi, pink. I mean, I use it mainly for booby eyes, the pink one. We've got brown, black and yellow. There's the main colours. I'm not sure if there's a red, there may be a red, I'm not sure. But anyway, that's to make the colours I have. So as I say, I'm going to be tying the tan coloured one, and so we'll get started in that. We'll zoom in. So now this is one of the midge patterns tied with the black foam. This is the smallest foam you saw me cut, but what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be tying the tan version. Now there's a couple where you can use it. This one here with, this one's got the white wing, and then there's one with a Grizzle, which is very good. So this is the one I'm going to be tying, this fly here. So I've got the foam cut. Now it's reasonably simple to actually cut. So I've got the foam there. What I do is I always stretch it a wee bit. Now you can see where it used to be at the tip here, but I cut this area away, and then just lay it on along my finger, and then the scissors, and then a long tapered cut, and that there should give you a nice taper for the body. You don't need to be too fancy with it, and that's you ready to tie the fly. Now the hook choice is up to yourself as well. You can use quite a few hooks. I just like a wide gape hook. Now I'm going to be using, this is a size 18 hook. It's called the Czech Nymph from Full and Mill. The short shank special is a good one, but as I say, you could use whatever hook you feel. As long as it's a medium sort of light wire or light wire hook, the fly will sit really nice. Thread I'm going to be using, I'm going to use this uni thread 80 in red. So I'm going to wax the thread, just run it across to get it started. So we basically wind our thread to the point of the hook. It's a simple fly to tie. We've got my cut foam. Don't be too long with the foam. Maybe look at measuring just slightly by the full length of the hook. Just tie it on the top here with just a couple of turns. Just checking that that's fine. Now I've got red Bibio, as we call Bibio red seals fur. This one's from F&F. Now when you see these tan coloured midge coming off, they do, when you hold them to the light, you can see the red through the body. So do touch a red at the back, just as we would tie a Bibio. This is just like a tan Bibio midge, if you want to call it that. Now once I've did that, we're going to put the legs on. We've got the pre-knotted pheasant tail legs, 2 to 3 either side is fine. So just bring them 90 degrees from the stem. Just get obviously half a dozen here. 1, 2, 3, 6. Now I usually try and separate them before I tear them off. So we just, if you imagine there, they're separated slightly. The ends have lined up, tear them away, and then I hold them just to try and keep them apart. I mean, you can use the foam will do that, just put them into the side. So what I'm going to do is catch it in the front of the foam first, the cylinder. Just with a couple of turns to see the length. So 1, 2, there's 3, just to see what it's like. See how they're sitting. So foam's separating them anyway. Checking the length. You can always pull it in a wee bit. I may do that, so just take the foam out of the way. Just checking the length at the back here. You don't want them too short, we don't want them too long. Now once I've done that, what I like to do then, take it, the thread turns round the back of the foam. It just brings them in a wee bit better. That's fine, that'll do it. And then we can then throw away the waste. Give it a wax on my thread, tidy this area up. You want your take your thread right up to the foam. You want it at the base. I'm using this as a thorax cover as well, so you need a good 3 or 4 mil there. Now I'm going to tie in a hackle. I've got a grizzle, not a grizzle, sorry. Well, before I do the hackle, sorry, I'm going to do the grizzle wings. My brain was trying to tell me to do that there, but so we've got just grizzle tips here of a head neck I have. I'm just going to make sure they're the same length. You can see the underside of the feathers here. Again, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to actually use the foam to separate them, tie them in front. So just separate them towards the end of the body, and then just come in with your finger and thumb here and hold them on the side of the body and the shank. Come around with a couple of turns, 2 or 3 turns, sorry. Just have a look and see how they're going to sit. Just for a wee bit of colour. They don't have to be perfect. So then again I'm going to do a couple of turns at the back and always check to see how they're sitting. And that there then secures them in, so we can trim away the waste. So what we do then, take our thread to the front, just tidy things up at this point, come back up. There we are. That looks fine. Now the hackle, desperate to put the hackle on, but anyway, here we are. We've got a saddle hackle here, a nice brown, natural brown. Just take away the fibre at the base of the stem so we can tie it in. Just catch it close to the, well, you want it right beside the foam. And then we just wind like we would do a parachute really. Just the foam, it will sit into the foam. Or maybe 4 or 5 turns depending on the hackle itself. Just checking. That looks fine. Now what I normally do is bring the hackle to my side, lift the hackle up, the fibres anyway, and then hold it with my fingers on this side, come round 3 or 4 turns, securing it in, trim that away. And basically what I'm going to do is tidy things up again. A couple of fibres there I want out of the way. And then I'm about, say, 1.5 mils from the eye there. I've got some of this is a light Hare's ear dub from, you can see it's got the UV. It's called Nymph Flash, but it's a very good, I think it's a nice dry fly dubbing. It's a nice colour blend. This one's from Full & Mill. It suits this pattern, so it does. It's got the gold flashing that through it as well. It's just, looks great. So I'm just going to lightly dub it on to tidy the thorax up. So we slide it up, just hold the fibres back, and I'm going to wind up to the hackle, tidy the area up, and then wind my thread through it, the way back down, which is basically tightening it up. And I don't mind seeing the red thread, so don't worry about that. So we're in front of the, obviously a nice head area to tie in, and this is where you can bring over, there's a couple of fibres here. I'm just encouraging, there's a couple of fibres going forward here. I'm just going to lay them back so I can bring the foam through. Just catch on the top. You want a good 3 or 4 turns, lift it up, bring your thread to the front, 3 or 4 turns, and then we want to whip finish. Yeah, I tie hoppers, obviously like this. I tie daddy long legs like this, crane fly, so a bit of varnish on your thread, then whip finish. Trim away, and then we could, don't trim it right close to where you tied it off, just leave a wee, about 1.5 mils or so. Something to give the impression of the head, and there we are. And that's basically the adult midge. This is a tan one. I mean, if you look at it, it certainly looks the part. But it does fish, it sits right, presents itself, the foam is really strong, it does last. As I say, you can try different colours, you can see the red and the thorax come through a wee bit there. But that's it, that's the fly. I'm actually quite close, didn't realise I was as close to that. So there we are, nice wee pattern. You can see the whole of the fly there. The black version is pretty neat as well. If you see these on the water, and it sits just like a normal midge, the fish just come up onto them like this one here's got a longer taper in the body. You can mess about with the lengths and so on. But anyway, there we are. That's your tan midge, adult midge, detached body using the HD foam. As I say, one of the things was just talking about was how to actually cut the foam, and obviously then I've tied the fly. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and again, thanks for watching. Until next time.